The day has finally come. Rick Ware Racing, which has been in the Cup Series for quite a few years now, it's being sold. It is being sold actually to a former NASCAR owner. The name, TJ, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, I apologize in advance. Puchyr? I'm going to mispronounce that the rest of this video, and I apologize, but he has agreed to purchase Rick Ware Racing and wants to expand the team, and also believes that charters are massively undervalued, which is a very interesting topic considering everything that's going on in that legal battle between a couple of the teams, 2311 in Front Row and NASCAR. So let's dive into the details, the future of Rick Ware Racing, and what he wants to do to this team. So, this article by Jenna Fryer says, one of the founders of Spire Motorsports has entered an agreement to purchase the NASCAR team owned by Rick Ware and is jumping back into the stock car series because he believes the current charters are grossly undervalued. TJ Puchyr, once again, who in 2018 alongside Jeff Dickerson launched the Spire team to take over the charter that Furniture Row Racing could not unload, told the AP on Thursday he and Rick Ware Racing have a deal for him to take over Ware's organization next season. When Puchyr and Dickerson bought the Furniture Row charter, the market for NASCAR's version of franchise models was essentially dead. Their agency had been hired by Furniture Row owner Barney Visser to sell the charter, and when they couldn't find the buyer, the two decided to purchase it themselves for $6 million and launch their own team. It then goes on to point out that charters now have been estimated anywhere from $25 to $40 million. Stewart-Haas Racing, when they sold all four of their charters, they actually had to give them at a discounted rate, which was $25 to $30. So they started at $6 million. BJ McLeod sold his charter for $40 million. And there's a report that Legacy Motor Club was going to purchase a charter from Rick Ware Racing for about $45 million, and that in itself is a lawsuit because Legacy Motor Club is suing Rick Ware Racing, saying that they agreed to give them a charter, and now Rick Ware Racing is countersuing them. So many lawsuits in NASCAR right now. It's insane. It truly is. Let's get into more of this. Puchyr last year sold his shares of Spire to Dan Taurus, the CEO of TWG Motorsports and head of the new Cadillac F1 team. Puchyr has spent 2025 consulting with various teams, including Rick Ware Racing and Legacy Motor Club. He's watched the market closely and has attended several of the recent court hearings involving NASCAR against 2311 and Front Row, who have filed an antitrust lawsuit over the charter agreement those two teams refused to sign last September. And then this is where it gets interesting. He believes that the charters are worth much more than the $40 million that BJ McLeod sold it for. And he says, I am bullish on wanting to build a 3-car team. I believe in the France family and the direction of the sport, and I want the rest of the shareholders and industry to know that I believe the charters are worth $75 million or more. Oh my goodness. So they started out, the first one that we know of that was sold, $6 million. Now, that's a good chunk of cash. But now it's up to $40 million, potentially $45 million, and we're nearly doubling that. $75 million. That's how much he believes it's worth. I mean, this is crazy. How much these charters have gone up in just a 7-8 year period. I mean, it's crazy, but $75 million for a charter. Oh my goodness. And there's a lot of people out there who want charters right now. Legacy Motor Club wants to expand. RFK's got to somehow find that third charter because currently they're leasing from Rick Ware Racing. You know, there's always talks about Dale Jr. and whatnot wanting to buy a charter. And then it talks about Rick Ware's second charter, and it points out something that TJ wants to do, or something about the deal that they have made, the agreement that they have. It says, in his deal with Ware, Puchyr will keep Ware on board as a partner, also keep Ware's son, Cody, in the number 51 Ford, and retain all of the current Rick Ware Racing employees. Ware's current second charter is leased to RFK Racing, but Legacy Motor Club made a legal claim that it had entered an agreement to buy that charter next season. And then it kind of breaks down the lawsuit. So this impacts everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people. obviously, Rick Ware Racing selling, Rick Ware selling the team impacts his team. Like, am I going to get to stay? Am I going to get fired? Am I going to get laid off? Well, it says here that the Rick Ware Racing staff will be retained. Cody Ware is still going to drive one of the cars. But outside of the doors of Rick Ware Racing, it also impacts the charter value. How much, he goes out, this TJ guy goes out and buys charters for. If he truly believes it's $75 million, can go spend $75 million if he has it. But let's say he doesn't want to spend $75 million. He wants to go spend $50 million. You guys get the point. A lot of money's got to get spent there. But it also impacts RFK, Legacy Motor Club, because right now RFK is leasing one of those charters from from Rick Ware Racing. And then at the same time, that same charter Legacy Motor Club over here wants, and they claim that they have an agreement. They claim that they have a legal right to that charter that they have purchased, not leased, purchased, and that it's theirs. So somehow, some way, this is going to impact RFK and Legacy. And then down here, TJ has a quote. If anybody deserves a pass, it is Jimmy, and if he wants to sit down and talk about it like men, I'd entertain the conversation. And it says that he was offended that Legacy sued Rick Ware. I don't think Jimmy has all the facts, doesn't understand the deal we had, and they try to humiliate Rick publicly. We don't do business that way. And then it says here, Puchyr and Ware are confident the second charter currently leased to RFK will be returned to their team in 2027, allowing Puchyr to expand the organization. He wants to buy a third charter that makes the organization a 3-car cup team by 2027. It also points out here that he wants it to be a competitive team, obviously, and he directly acknowledges Rick Ware Racing is a backmarker. They do not run up front. A top 10 for them is a win, like if we're being brutally honest. Last year, Justin Haley had some insanely great moments for this team. He scored top 10s at non-super speedways. That was history for Rick Ware Racing. When they got a top 10 at Gateway, a top 10 at Darlington, that was like earth-shattering for Rick Ware Racing. Like, he was almost consistently fighting for top 20s, top 25s. But since that, we have not seen that from Rick Ware Racing. Cody Ware has not run well. He's dead last out of the full-time drivers, and it's not even close. Now, LaJoy runs part-time, and he's run at the super speedways, and he's done good there, but Corey LaJoy is a really good super speedway racer, and we can see anyone compete at the super speedways, like any car, I mean. So, Rick Ware Racing is a backmarker. No question about it. I don't think anyone's going to try to argue that, but I think the goal at some point was for Rick Ware Racing to take a step forward. Last year seemed like that step forward with Justin Haley, but they've regressed. So I don't know if Rick Ware has been wanting to sell, or if TJ just came up with this insane offer and it was one of those offers you couldn't refuse for Rick Ware. But obviously, there are major impacts to the NASCAR world, because if this guy truly believes that charters as of today are worth $75 million, but they're only selling for $45 million, does that mean every charter negotiation, like in terms of a team wanting to buy a charter from someone, does that mean that they're going to start at $75 million? Does that mean they're going to try to average out at $75? Like, what does this mean for the purchases of future charters? Obviously, Rick Ware Racing itself right now is a 1.5 car organization. They have one full-time car. They have a part-time car. So they're going to get that second charter back, or at least they believe that's the case. There's this ongoing lawsuit with Legacy Motor Club. Depending on the outcome of that, that determines if Rick Ware Racing has 2 charters as of 2027. And then, of course, leasing it to RFK. Well, RFK right now is a 3-car organization. 2 of the cars are doing well. The third car, Brad Keselowski, that's a separate thing. But the charter that's currently being leased to RFK is Ryan Preece's number 60 charter. So what does RFK do? Do they go back to a 2-car organization? I don't think they want to do that. Would they bid for a third charter? What do they want to do with a charter? And then where does TJ get his third charter from? If it's truly Rick Ware, if he buys Rick Ware Racing, truly wants to be a 3-car organization by 2027, where is he going to find that third charter? Obviously, he has a lot of NASCAR connections through his years. Spire, and now Spire has that Gainbridge connection because of who he sold his stake to. So I'm curious to see how this all goes down. It's all based on a lawsuit, or not based on a lawsuit. There's a lot pending on it, on a lawsuit, so that will be interesting. And then also, what's the team going to be called? Is it going to be called TJ Puchyr Racing? Is it going to be you know how Jimmy Johnson rebranded Richard Petty Motorsports to Legacy Motor Club? Like, is he going to do something like that? Like, is he going to come up with a creative name? I don't know. But there's a lot of impacts just from this. But if Rick Ware Racing truly is selling, if they truly rebrand, if this is truly it for like Rick Ware Racing and they become TJ Puchyr Racing and they rebrand and they have different car numbers, I don't really know what to say on Rick Ware Racing. Good for them. I enjoyed their time in NASCAR. Always fun to see them compete, you know, when they had those big moments, like the top 10 at Darlington, the top 10 at Gateway, the top 20s that they had, and how much of a big deal it was for them. Always fun. And then the super speedways, every once in a while they get up there too and be in the top 10. I think Cody Ware got a top 5 in that crazy Daytona race in 2022. So who's going to drive for him? That's another question. So many questions, but I guess we really won't know until this is fully finalized, fully announced. But this is some pretty significant NASCAR news. So thanks for watching this video. Later today, you will see a video of my bracket. In fact, I have it over here on my desk. My in-season tournament bracket. You're looking at the back of it because I wrote it out, so why would I spoil it for you here? But thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. You guys will see my in-season tournament bracket later. And yeah, thanks for watching.